Hello, garden friends. I hope you are doing well this morning. So it is time for me to get out here into the garden and do a little bit of harvesting. So I figured I'll take you along. And then I will show you my sunflowers. They're probably a good 10 feet tall, some of them anyways. So I'm just gonna come in here and harvest some of the things that I am seeing, like these zinnias right here. So this guy probably should have been picked yesterday, but it's fine. There's that guy, and then this guy's, oh, I broke him, but that's okay. That guy, there's a lot of zucchini here. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with them, because I typically like to take the zucchinis and make lasagna for myself and then freeze it, but I've already got one lasagna in the freezer. So I'm making fish tacos for dinner tonight, and I don't think the zucchini will necessarily pair with that. Don't let me forget that GoPro battery. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with all those zucchinis. So let's go over here to the jalapenos and see if there's things that we can harvest over here. So I see a few that I can harvest. A lot of these just seem kind of small, I guess, but they're all about the same size. And tomatoes. I'm gonna make my way to the tomatoes and see what I got going on. So there's that black stuff that's on there. It almost reminds me of caterpillar poop, but there's also one of those potato bug, or three-stripe potato bug larvae, maggot looking thing. I don't want that on there. It's gonna be fine once I wash it off, but that's gross. I got some tomatillos that are ready. Now these are supposed to be green tomatillos, but I have yet to have them turn green. They are just this yellow color, but they're ready because they're splitting and their papers are coming off. And that could be because they do have bugs, but I guess that's the problem with organic gardening, is you don't really spray pesticides, and so you have to deal with that. But I'm okay with that because they will be washed. I do want to show you this. This plant right here is my pumpkin, which actually is in this garden bed here, but it's kind of grown and vined through this way and it's growing that way. I think that's awesome. It looks really, really good. Yeah, so, and I think this might be a bell pepper right here. Quick little harvest here in the garden. Let me just show you what I got really quick, and then I will show you my beautiful sunflowers. So I got 4 of these zucchinis, 1 tomato, 2 tomatillos, and just a handful of jalapenos. Now what I have been doing with the jalapenos and the tomatillos, as I get enough saved, enough for on the counter, is I go ahead and I make what turns out to be 1 jar of green salsa, tomatillo based salsa. I'll take the tomatillos and the jalapenos and garlic and onion, and I will just cut them in half, put them on a roasting pan, drizzle with some oil, maybe even put a little bit of salt on there, and then throw them in the oven under broil. I broil them, and I want them to have that nice char, or starting to blacken a little bit. And then I take it all out, I throw it in a blender, take the juices and dump the juices into the blender as well, and voila, I have me a nice little jar of salsa. So let's go look at my sunflowers really quick. So this area right here is where I just do a bunch of wildflowers. Not wildflowers, but I plant flowers here. And this is the 2nd year in a row I've put my sunflowers here. And, well, as you can see, they're pretty darn tall. The bees love them. Ooh, that's a pretty one. That one up there is so pretty. But I also have in here, I have some nasturtiums in here, lavender. I have borage growing. This is just all of these are like black poppies that have died, and I harvested some of the seeds, not all of them. Like I said, borage. Why am I forgetting the name of these? But those are really beautiful. Those are bulbs. Get out of there. Get. And when they bloom, that's what they look like. I know what they're called, I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. But as you can see here, this is one that has bloomed and died. I've got jasmine in here in both corners, calendula back here, which I've been harvesting. Looks like more borage back there. And this is my abutilon. It has, some damage here because it was in the sun, so I put it inside here. So I have 3 of them in here, but these are clones. I actually cloned these about a year ago, and they are doing good, even though it doesn't look like it. I did just move them into this area where they get constant watering every day when I turn on my sprinkler system. So that's one there. And this is not where they're staying. This one has actually been in this area for quite a few weeks, and you can tell the difference. It's got really good growth on it. These are just bottom leaves that are coming off. But again, this is a clone. And this one, once all the sunflowers are gone, it's going to be put in between the 2 lavenders that I have. So that'll go there. That'll be its home. And then I have this other abutilon right here. These are the tiger's eye abutilons, which is also a clone. All of mine are clones except for the main abutilon. But yeah, this is the same story as the other one, the first one. These ones were out in the sun, and I just moved them over here like 2 or 3 days ago, hoping that they will start to get better. So that is it for my little sunflower flower bed tour, if you will, and then harvesting my veggies. It's like every year I seem to go into being a gardener that, I take the time to plant seeds and grow them from, and take care of them and then put them in the garden. And it's one of those things that probably every gardener thinks about, is that the garden is just not going to grow or it's not going to produce. And I'm always pleasantly surprised when it starts producing. So yeah, if you've ever wanted to go garden, go get yourself a garden, create yourself a garden, even if it's a little container garden. Most of my stuff is in containers. And just start with tomatoes. Start with the easy things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.